All right, Buckeye fans. So this turned out to be the team that we thought it was going to be coming into the season. That's not to brag on the fan base, but it is kind of to brag on the fan base because we are the greatest fans in the country. We all talked about this. That's what we do. We spend our off seasons talking about Buckeye football, looking at recruiting. We're just not normal fans. We're just not. Especially the guys. No, don't get me wrong. There's big women college football fans out there. They like to keep up with it sometimes, but not keep up with it, if you know what I mean. Plus, we're so fanatical. I mean, it's got to be enough just listening to us to keep up with Ohio State football. Literally, the wives don't even have to watch a game because they know everything about it just from hearing it. Anyway, back to what I was saying, we were all right. This team looked to be rebuilding on the offensive line coming into 2023. We were optimistic in terms of specialty players on offense. I don't think that while we were breaking in a new quarterback that anybody was seriously concerned about the quarterback position being terrible. Now, granted, McCord has had some growing pains. It took a little bit longer than CJ to get his feet underneath him, literally. But McCord is getting better. Certainly, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Travion Henderson are the explosive NFL starting impact guys, without question, exactly what they thought or we thought they would be. Marv even, well, I wouldn't say both of them, even better than we thought. We thought they were going to be great. Both are improved, developed players. Marvin Harrison Jr., I think, is, and some people just think I'm crazy, but I've been saying it for 2 weeks, he's underrated, and I think would be a Heisman favorite had he had a little bit better quarterback play. And that's, it is what it is. McCord has had great moments, clutch moments. He's also had some really bad throws. Marv's made Kyle look really good, but Kyle's also lost a lot of touchdowns from not leading Marv, some severely underthrown balls all year long. So, it is what it is. Kyle McCord is a serviceable quarterback now. He could become a very good quarterback. I really believe that. Kyle McCord's not done with what he has to do at Ohio State, and he has improved throughout the season. So while I can point out his faults, I can also point out the Notre Dame final drive. I can point out with him seemingly playing better in clutch situations most of the year. Some of the underthrown balls, I think that's one thing that can be addressed. Certainly, it seems like Day might have addressed the kind of panic issues that we saw in some of the recent games. I think that was Wisconsin. So that seems to be something that has been addressed. Hopefully the underthrowing of a lot of the balls is something that Ryan Day is talking consistently to Kyle McCord about, and I think he is. So, we have explosive players. We cannot afford to have them down. Travion Henderson means so much to this offense in terms of running game. It's not like we can just not have him and produce the same numbers running the football. And that is because Travion just has that explosive acceleration. It's not necessarily like blazing 4.28 top end speed. It is extreme acceleration, and that makes him explosive and a home run threat. We've heard the cliche over and over. That is exactly what he does for this offense. Marvin Harrison coupled with Cade Stover, and even having a little extra hand with some of the receivers, whether it be BuCkIfReAk or Xavier, there's a lot of go-to weapons on this offense. So while the offensive line, like the quarterback, has gone through growing pains, they seem to also be improving and that is why the Buckeyes are sitting undefeated going into the Minnesota game. So just Minnesota stands between Ohio State and Michigan, and right now, especially on the heels of the end of last season, I think the focus 100% has to be on health. Ryan Day has to know this, and keeping the key players healthy in particular. And when I think of those key players, any starting corner, can't afford to lose a guy like Burke, can't afford to lose a guy like Tyleek on the inside, can't afford to lose Trey or Marv or like a Donovan Jackson. We can't afford to lose any of those types of players between now and Michigan. Not if we're going to beat Michigan. Michigan's very good. Michigan's a really talented football team. I think this is definitely the team that stands the best chance over the last 3 years of beating Michigan. I'm not going to dive too much into the reasons why, but it's mainly because this is a more developed, experienced team with a better stalwart defense, without question. It's not the other stuff in the headlines, albeit we did have some things said while we were watching the games last 2 years, which is kind of ironic. Kind of the seems like they know everything we're doing type of statements. And certainly we seemed outcoached and outplayed, but maybe there was a little bit more to it. That's for another show. But anyway, we are where we are. I think we knew what we had, and the team is a little bit better in terms of leadership, and maybe we didn't consider all the development of the returning starters that we had. Each player seems to be physically and mentally stronger than they were a year ago. Guys, you name it, doesn't matter who it is, Cody Simon, just so many other guys that had experience that have obviously gotten to be better football players since 2022. So super excited. Buckeyes really stand a chance at winning out the regular season. If that happens, you would think that they will be a number 1 or 2 seed in the college football playoff. I like their matchups if they are to get in the playoffs, just because the other teams that may be involved. This is a defense that's what really makes them, in my opinion, a threat to win the whole thing, is that for the first time in a few years, Ohio State's defense can really buck up in short yardage and tough goal line situations. We've seen it time and time again this year. We need Eichenberg. That's another one on the health list. We can't afford to have a guy like Tommy Eichenberg not out on the field. Just such an amazing playmaker. But anyway, that's all a part of what makes this team, that X factor that makes it a serious threat for a national championship, is that if these players are healthy on defense, Tyleek Williams, Tommy Eichenberg, Denzel Burke, and the 2 defensive ends, if these guys go into this game healthy, if we've got Mike Hall, if we've got the starting 4 and Tommy Eichenberg that start and play the game against Michigan or a Big Ten championship or a potential playoff, this team can run the table. It's because of that defense. We just saw how other teams or running backs would hit the impact and somehow push us back a yard or 2 or 3 the last few years. And this year it just seems different. It seems like when Tommy Eichenberg or one of those defensive linemen get their hands on you, you're not going any further up the gridiron. You are stopped right there. And it's just a gigantic difference. In that way, I think that Ohio State has improved even more than all the other ways that they've improved. So super optimistic. Check back in. We're going to get a studio up and running and talk some Ohio State football. Thanks for joining. See ya.